Hi and welcome to Student Database Management System. This system is created using SqLite in Python. So I'm going to show you guys how it works. Okay, we can always add new data. Say we want to add student new data there and enter a name. Let's say the name is Kingsley West, date of birth of West 2001, age maybe about 17 or maybe 18, and male. Address of Kingsley West, let's say he lives in Frontend, close. Mobile number of Kingsley West, there. All we just need to do, if you guys look here, you notice Kingsley West is not there. We can always click on add, and if we want to check that out, there we go. That's Kingsley West there. You can also search. Okay, as you can see, let's click on any of these and their details will be displayed there. The other thing is, if we clear here, we can, let's assume we want to search for someone, we can search for Sally, display, and just click on search. There we go. But we happen to have 3 records of Sally, so that means we can delete if we want to. So that's one gone. We have another record of Sally. Supposing we want to change this very record of Sally, we need to update that. To update that, let's change that record, and let's say the name was supposed to be Steve. Okay, Steve Arthur, and the date of birth just happens to be a little bit similar. Okay, and that's the age, and Steve happens to be male. Different address. Johnny Way. Okay, so you can see what will happen now when we save that. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here to Sally. So add the new details, or okay, update the new details. Okay, that's Steve MacArthur, right? And let's go and view. Okay, you can see the other Sally is gone. We only have one Sally there now. Okay, and the other thing that we can do is we can always exit if we want. So what I'm going to do now is take you guys into Python IDE development environment, and we put one of these very advanced tutorial together. So let's do that now, guys. And welcome to Student Database Management System. This is going to be the front end, so I'm just going to enter front end there, because the tutorial is going to be in 2 parts. Okay, let's start by importing the following. So from Tickinta, we import. Let's import all. I am also going to import the Tickinta message dialog box. That will be .message box. Okay, and for information, I'm going to make up a database name. I'll call that very database. You see, as you notice, I've just commented it out. I'm going to call that database student database. If you notice the hash key, that means it's commented out. Now the next thing I would like to do is let's create a class, and this class is going to be known as student. Enter a column there. Now let's define as follows. So I'm going to say self comma root. Okay, now the next thing I'll do is self comma root or self dot root. Let's come in here, that'll be a dot, and there should be equals root. Okay, now self dot root, let me ask it to give me a title, and the title is going to be student database management system. There we go. And the other thing I would like to add to it would be the geometry for my database. So the geometry in this case is going to be, let's say it's going to be approximately 1350 by 700 plus 0 plus 0. Those will be the coordinate. Okay, now let's specify a back color, configure, and I'll just say BG equals maybe candidate blue for the color, background color. Right, close that. Okay, before I continue, let me just close this whole interface. So I will now save it and see how it looks like. Let's go to File, Save As. I'll go for students. I have a folder for it, Student Database System. There we go. As you can see, there's nothing inside that very system, so let's just call it Student Database. Okay, underscore front end. So I'm going to save that now. Save. There we go. Okay, now let's try it out. Oh, there's an error here. Okay, let's try it out and see how it looks like. Now that is saved, there we go. Okay, the next thing I would like to do is to define the following variables. So the first variables that I intend to define is going to be stdi, student ID, and that's going to be string ID, string variable. Enter parentheses there. So I'm just going to copy that across and use it to change the others. Okay, I have 8 in total. The next one is going to be first name, surname, and so on. Okay, those are my variables in place. The next thing I would like to do now is I'm going to now create my frames, and the first one is going to be the main frame. So this very frame is going to be using widget frame, and widget frame is going to be resident right inside self dot root, comma. Now I'm going to just change the color of that. I'm going to make the color candidate blue as well. Close that. The main frame itself, let's put the main frame in or on a grid. Dot grid there. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is I'm going to define the title frame. The title frame is going to be inside the main frame. So I'm going to copy this and change this around, and then give this a name. It's going to be known as title frame, and this will be known as title frame as well. Now, as for the title frame, I will add a border. Let's come in here to add the border. So let's say BD. I'm going to make that 2, and I will get it padded x-axis. Let's make that 54 and get it padded again. On the y-axis, I'll make that about 8. Then the other thing I intend to do is I will change the color. I'll change this very back color to ghost white. Right. Now, one more thing. Relief it. That will be rigid. So I'm going to get it packed because I don't intend to add any other thing to it. So let's say packed, and that will be at the top. So add equals top. Right, that is that sorted. Okay, the next thing I want to do is inside this very frame, I'm going to now add a label. So it's going to be self dot lbl title equals label, and this label is going to be inside txt frame. There. And I will also add a font. So that's the size of the font and so on. So let's get this label straighten up. So I'm going to say dot grade, and we'll run it and see how it looks like for now. There we go. Right. The next thing I want to do now is I'm going to add more frameworks. Then we get this one changed around. Right, let's pick that up. Alright, those are the other frames that I've added, but let's run it and see. There. I don't seem to like it, so I would like a title here and a title here, so let's close that. And one other thing is, let's just increase this font size so that you guys can see it properly. I'm going to make it about 12 for now. Alright, let's come right down here. So where I have the font, in the first place, okay, first of all, let's change that to label. Okay, we change the frame to a labeled frame, and I'll repeat the same thing for this very one here, so that I can add my labels there. I will also need to add fonts to this, so come right here, copy all of that, and here it is. Okay, let's just take comma there. If I paste that, there isn't much room, so let's come right down here, and here underneath here I'm going to add my information. So I can just say the text on it is going to be, let's say, student information info. That's fine, and close that. Let's add carriage return there. Right, let's see how that very one looks like. There we go. Okay, seems to be too big though. Let's reduce that to maybe about 20. So I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing for this very one here. Press enter and just copy everything that I have in here. Paste that here. So this can be student details. Okay, so let's come into run, save, and let's see. There we go. So that's much better now. Alright, close that. The next thing I like to do now is to define my widget. So I'm going to copy these and enter label and text and entry widget is called labels and entry widget. Okay, to create my label widget, since I've already created the label here, I'm just going to copy that, paste it right underneath here, move it down and just change the font to maybe 20. And in here, this very one is going to be known as student ID. And this will be student ID as well. So what we need to do is to define the role. Role equals, in this case, the role is going to be 0, comma, and the column is going to be 0 as well. And we want it to be strictly west equals W. Right. Okay, let's see, what do we need to change? We need to change all of these. That should be student ID and this color. Okay, I will leave it as that very color. What about padding? Let's get it padded as well. I'm going to copy all of this and maybe paste that here. And what would that be? Let's say about 2, and this will be 2 as well. Okay, that's fine. 2. Now the other thing is the frame. So I want it to be inside data frame left. I'm going to copy that and just paste it right here. Okay, I may have get it right, so let's try it out and see. Right there, guys, this is how it looks now. Okay, let's add a text widget, or as is known, an entry widget. Copy that, paste that there. This will become txt, just to make it look different. Txt, you can always call yours what you like, and that is entry, and this is going to be column 1. This is a text box. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. That becomes text variable, and this text variable is going to be student ID. Remember the variable that I declared up here. Now I'm using that very variable. So the other thing is I'll get rid of all of these, and let's add the width. That is going to be maybe about 30, maybe 39, and get rid of this strictly. Right, I don't think it's part of the properties. Right. Okay, let's save and run. There we go. That is my text there. That is fine. Let's add a column here. Come right here, add a column. Yeah, that's fine. I can now copy this across and repeat it for the others. Just change the names around. So this is going to be for surname, first name, and surname. First name, and just change this. This is role number 1, and 1, and this will be first name. This will be surname. Let's change this. and if this is 1, this will be 2. Row number 2. I think that should do it. Let's run and see how it looks like. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just speed up all of the design of the interface here and here, and come back to you guys shortly. Okay, I've finished up with the test and entering widget, so let's run it and you guys see how it all looks like. There we go. Now let's add a list box and a scroll bar there. So come right down here. I'm going to copy this first, take it down. That'll be for my list box. This will be for my button widget here, and this is for list box and scroll bar right there. Okay, the scroll bar first, I'm going to call that scroll bar equals scroll bar. Let's copy that, but the scroll bar widget is always in, the S is always uppercase, right? And it's going to be right inside this very frame, data frame right. There we go. Now the scroll bar itself, now let's position it as, it's going to be in griddle dot. I'm going to make that 0. Yeah, 0. Let's make it 0. Let's copy that there, and this is going to be 0, and the column is going to be 1. Let's say strictly NS. Okay, right. Now the next thing is I'm going to create a list. That's my list box equals list box, and this list box is inside this as well. Okay, this very list box, I'm going to say the width is about 41 and height maybe about 16. Then font, let's copy this font, just paste it there. Okay, let's reduce that to about 12 for the font. Then I would like it to be on the y-axis. Command equals scroll bar does set, paste dot set. Right, and this scroll bar, let's position it here. Let's say the student list, paste that there. Student list dot grade, that would be, I'm going to copy all of these, paste that in there, and that will be, let's make that 0, and get it padded as well. Delete this. Let's say pad to the x-axis as that. Now the scroll bar, no, this should be lowercase, else there will be an error there. The scroll bar itself, let's get it configured. Configure, and that will be command equals in the student list. The student list is my list box. Student list dot y-axis view there, and that should hopefully take care of that. Alright, so let's try it out. Correct this error first. That should be scroll bar. Alright, run and let's see how it's going to look like. There we go. Alright, finally let's add our buttons. So right underneath here I'm going to add the following button. Let me say self.btn add data equals button, and this very button is going to be inside button frame. That's the name of the framework, comma, and the text on it is going to be add new. Alright, and comma, the fonts, I'll make the font about 20 as well, and paste that there. And what else? What about height? I'm gonna copy this, paste that in there. No, undo that. Undo. This was meant to be height. And I think I'm gonna need width as well. So height, I'll make that about 1, and the width maybe 10. Then that's a b, d equals 4 there. And let's come in here, copy this, put that in a grid. So let's say dot grid equals 0. There we go. And get rid of this. Okay, let me run that and see how the button look like. Then I'll take it from there. There we go. Look at the button. So what I'll do is just copy that button across and change the name around. Alright, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So run it and see. There we go, guys. I think there's one more. Now run it again. There. So I'm going to change the name around and get back to you shortly. Okay, there we go, guys. Those are the names. So let's run it and you see how it looks like. There we go. So there's nothing happening now. And with that, I'm going to call it the end of the very first part of the tutorial. So I will assume the front end is all completed. Alright, see you guys shortly.